Most people think trading is a game of charts, indicators, and predictions, but the truth hides in a place almost nobody has the courage to look: inside their own mind. You can hand two traders the same chart, the same tools, the same strategy, the same rules, and one will become consistently profitable, while the other will bleed their account dry. This proves something uncomfortable, something people avoid because it forces them to take responsibility. Success in trading has almost nothing to do with the system and almost everything to do with the mindset using it. You can't beat the market until you beat yourself first. And the reason only 1% become legends isn't because they're smarter or luckier. It's because they're wired differently, not naturally, mentally. They think in ways the 99% don't even understand. And these hidden mindsets are the silent forces shaping their decisions while the rest of the world keeps losing, repeating the same emotional mistakes disguised as logic. If you've ever wondered why you sabotage yourself even when you know exactly what to do, this script will expose the invisible psychological traps controlling your trading behavior and show you the mindsets used by traders who turn charts into opportunities instead of fears. This is not motivational fluff. This is the uncomfortable truth about the mind of a trader, dissected from the inside. Almost every losing trader starts in the same place. They want to win quickly, they want to be right, and they want the market to validate them. These desires feel normal, but they are actually the enemy. They create pressure, impatience, emotional dependence, and catastrophic decision-making. The market feels your neediness the way a predator senses weakness. It punishes desperation, it destroys hope, and it exposes every place where your mindset isn't aligned with reality. The 1% operate on a completely different psychological frequency. They don't ask the market to make them feel smart or successful. They use the market as a mathematical environment, not an emotional one. They don't chase the feeling of winning. They chase the process of executing correctly. Their confidence isn't built on outcomes. It's built on discipline. That's why they survive long enough to thrive, while everyone else keeps blowing up during phases of emotional chaos. Most traders don't lose because of bad strategies. They lose because they can't sit still. They can't wait. They can't detach from outcomes. They can't accept randomness. They can't execute when scared. They can't stop trading when bored. They can't handle drawdowns without losing their identity. They confuse motion with progress and prediction with control. The 1% see the market as uncertainty wrapped in opportunity. The 99% see it as a chance to escape their real-life problems. That difference alone creates completely opposite decisions, even if both traders look at the same candlestick pattern. The losing trader wants relief. The winning trader wants structure. One wants emotional stability. The other wants statistical stability. One tries to avoid discomfort. The other accepts discomfort as part of the game. There's a reason the 1% don't panic during losing streaks. They expect them. They understand that losing trades are part of the distribution curve, just like turbulence is part of flying. A trader who freaks out when they hit turbulence doesn't have a trading problem. They have a mindset problem. When the 99% enter the market, every loss feels personal. It feels like failure. It feels like a threat to their self-worth. But for elite traders, a loss is simply information. They don't attach identity to outcomes. They live in a state of emotional neutrality that allows them to keep acting rationally even when their equity curve dips. This one mindset alone separates long-term traders from short-lived gamblers. Another reason the 1% rise to the top is because they treat trading like a craft, not a lottery. They study their mistakes the way athletes study game footage. They don't hide from discomfort. They dissect it. They don't look for dopamine. They look for data. They take responsibility for everything, even things outside their control, because responsibility gives them power. When something goes wrong, the 99% blame the market, news, manipulation, brokers, indicators, volatility, spreads, and anything else that allows them to avoid looking inward. The 1% zoom in on themselves, on their reactions, patterns, emotional impulses, biases, and blind spots. They understand that if a mistake repeats, the market isn't the problem. They are. This humility is rare because most traders come into the game with ego, not discipline. Ego wants to be right. Discipline wants to grow. Ego trades aggressively after a win. Discipline trades the same size. Ego averages down. Discipline cuts losses. Ego jumps into impulsive setups when bored. Discipline waits. Ego sees opportunity. Discipline sees probability. The 1% think in probabilities so deeply that it becomes instinct. They don't care if one trade wins or loses because one trade means nothing. They care about the next 1,000 trades. They build systems that survive randomness, not systems built for perfection. Losing traders can't think on that scale because they're emotionally tied to every single win and loss. They feel each one as a personal victory or personal humiliation. That emotional attachment forces them to act irrationally whenever the market doesn't align with their expectations. The elite have no expectations, only preparation. When the market surprises them, they don't react. They respond. The difference is massive. Patience is another mindset that almost nobody truly understands. Everyone thinks they are patient until the market starts moving without them. Losing traders see a candle pump and instantly feel FOMO burning through their brain. It feels like they're missing out on money, missing out on opportunity, missing out on the win that could validate their identity. They enter late, and the market punishes them instantly. Elite traders don't chase, ever. They would rather miss a winning trade than enter a low-quality one. They understand that missing a move costs nothing, but a bad trade costs everything. Emotional stability, confidence, clarity, and account equity. Their patience isn't passive, it's strategic. It's the patience of a sniper, not a spectator. They wait for the market to come into their zone, not the other way around. Another rare mindset is emotional minimalism. The best traders don't ride emotional highs after a win and don't fall into emotional lows after a loss. They aim to feel the same after both, not because they're robots, but because they know that emotions create distortions in thinking. Emotional highs create overconfidence. Emotional lows create hesitation. Both are deadly. Consistency demands neutrality. Consistency demands that you operate from logic, not adrenaline. Losing traders chase feelings. Winning traders chase execution. And then there's the mindset of identity detachment. Most traders unconsciously tie their self-worth to their trading performance. When they win, they feel accomplished. When they lose, they feel inferior. This creates a self-worth roller coaster that destroys discipline. The 1% separate their identity from their results. They see themselves as operators of a system, not as the system itself. This mental distance reduces emotional chaos, allowing them to make decisions based on what the system requires, not what their ego demands. The 1% also have a long-term mindset that most people simply can't replicate. They think in years, not days. They understand that consistency, scalability, and compounding take time. They don't rush to double accounts or flip small balances because they know those behaviors come from desperation, not discipline. Losing traders want shortcuts. Winning traders build foundations. Losing traders crave excitement. Winning traders crave consistency. Losing traders want freedom without earning it. Winning traders build freedom brick by brick. Every elite trader also understands uncertainty at a level that feels almost unnatural. The 99% want certainty. They want a strategy that wins all the time. They want confirmation signals. They want guarantees. They want control. They want comfort. But the market doesn't offer certainty. It offers probability. And probability requires acceptance of chaos. The 1% don't try to eliminate uncertainty. They build systems that thrive inside it. They don't resist randomness. They absorb it. They don't try to guess where the market will go. They prepare for whatever it does. They aren't fortune tellers. They're risk managers. Even risk management itself is misunderstood. Losing traders think risk management is a tool, a setting, a stop loss. But for elite traders, risk management is a mindset. It's humility. It's self-awareness. It's respect for the market. It's the recognition that anything can happen at any time. It's the willingness to sacrifice potential wins to avoid catastrophic losses. It's the realization that survival is the first requirement for success. The reason the 1% dominate the market is because they understand the game beneath the game, the psychological engine running every decision. They know the market is a mirror that reflects their internal world more accurately than anything else in life. It exposes impatience, insecurity, greed, fear, ego, hope, trauma, and impulsive tendencies. Most people can hide these flaws in daily life, but the market amplifies them. A small fear becomes a panic. A small desire becomes greed. A small flaw becomes a disaster. The 1% don't escape this. They experience it too. The difference is, they face it. They confront their weaknesses instead of hiding them behind indicators or excuses. They realize that if they don't master their inner world, the outer world will crush them every single time. What separates legendary traders from everyone else is their relationship with discomfort. The 99% run from discomfort, avoid drawdowns, fear uncertainty, panic during volatility, and crave emotional safety. The 1% train themselves to operate inside discomfort until it becomes normal. A losing streak doesn't break them, it sharpens them. Volatility doesn't scare them, it excites them. Drawdowns don't destroy their confidence, they test their discipline. They understand that the market rewards the trader who can sit calmly in situations where others panic. That silence inside the storm is where their edge is born. Another mindset the 1% possess is radical acceptance. They accept that anything can happen. They accept that losses are unavoidable. They accept that perfect entries don't exist. They accept that the market doesn't care about their analysis. They accept that randomness plays a larger role than most traders admit. Acceptance frees them. It liberates them from the emotional trap of needing to be right. It gives them the ability to stay fluid, to adapt, to react based on present information instead of past expectations. Losing traders cling to predictions, defending their ideas, even as the market moves against them, because their ego would rather be right than survive. Elite traders don't fall in love with predictions. They fall in love with the process of honoring their rules. Most of the 99% keep losing because they believe trading is about controlling the market. The 1% win because they only focus on controlling themselves. They know that discipline isn't a motivational feeling, it's a system. It's pre-deciding everything before the trade ever happens. They don't enter trades emotionally. They enter trades through rules. They don't move stops to give the trade some room. They honor the original plan. They don't panic exit because of fear. They wait for their system to tell them what to do. Their discipline is so strong that it overrides the biological instincts that ruin most traders. Fear and greed live inside every human. But the 1% build habits that make their decisions immune to those impulses. Another rare mindset is emotional detachment from money. Losing traders think in terms of dollars. They count every loss and every win as if it defines their success. Elite traders think in terms of execution, not money. They understand that money is a side effect of high-quality decisions repeated over time. When you detach from money, you stop trading to avoid pain and start trading to follow process. This psychological shift is enormous. It turns trading from an emotional experience into a mechanical one. and mechanical traders survive longer than emotional traders. Another crucial mindset is self-awareness. Elite traders constantly observe their own behavior, the way scientists observe experiments. They notice patterns in their reactions. When they get impulsive, when they overtrade, when they hesitate, when they lose focus. They understand themselves so deeply that they can predict their own emotional vulnerabilities before entering a trade. The 99% ignore these patterns until they blow up accounts. The 1% track them, study them, optimize them. They treat their psychology with the same importance as their strategy because they know psychology executes the strategy. Most losing traders live in the future or the past. They dwell on previous losses or fantasize about the next win. But elite traders live in the present. They focus only on what the market is doing right now, not what they wish it would do. This presence gives them clarity while others drown in emotional noise. The market punishes any trader who trades based on hope or memory. Only the present moment matters, and only the 1% fully understand that. Another secret mindset of legendary traders is emotional patience. This is not the same as waiting for the setup. Emotional patience is the ability to sit in uncertainty without forcing action. It's the ability to wait through drawdowns, through slow conditions, through choppy markets, without feeling the need to make something happen. Most traders can't sit still. They trade because they're bored. They trade because they need excitement. They trade because doing nothing feels like failure. But doing nothing is often the smartest decision a trader can make. The 1% are masters of doing nothing when the conditions aren't right. Another powerful mindset is owning the outcome. Losing traders say, the market manipulated me. News ruined my trade. The broker hunted my stop. The indicator didn't work. The strategy failed. These excuses feel comforting, but they destroy growth. Elite traders own everything. They take responsibility even for things outside their control because responsibility gives them leverage to improve. If you blame external factors, you can't grow. If you blame yourself, you can evolve. The 1% evolve every week because they refuse to outsource responsibility. One of the rarest mindsets is data-driven thinking. Elite traders don't care about how they feel. They care about what the data says. They track stats, win rate, expectancy, drawdowns, average R, volatility response, equity curve behavior. They treat trading like a business, not therapy. Losing traders rely on feelings. Winning traders rely on evidence. Feelings fluctuate. Data speaks the truth. When you stop trading based on emotions and start trading based on numbers, you step into the world of professional thinking. The 1% also understand the psychological value of routine. They know that consistency in behavior creates consistency in results. They wake up at the same time, analyze the market the same way, follow the same process. They eliminate randomness from their actions because the market already gives enough randomness. Their structure keeps them grounded. The 99% wake up differently every day, trade differently every day, change rules, adjust strategies on emotion, and then wonder why results are inconsistent. Consistent habits create consistent traders. Another powerful mindset is being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Drawdowns, volatility spikes, slow markets, losing streaks, they all create discomfort. Most traders try to escape it through overtrading, changing strategies, increasing risk, or quitting. The 1% embrace discomfort as the cost of doing business. They know discomfort doesn't mean danger. Discomfort means opportunity disguised in uncertainty. If you can operate calmly in discomfort, you have an advantage others don't. The 1% also understand delayed gratification. They know that small consistent growth beats big inconsistent wins. They understand compounding. They understand the long-term game. They don't need to double accounts every month. They focus on not blowing them up. Losing traders chase big gains. Winning traders chase small mistakes to eliminate them. Over time, the trader who avoids big mistakes beats the trader who hunts big wins. Another rare mindset is self-mastery. Elite traders develop the ability to pause. This simple pause is powerful. It's the gap between impulse and decision. Most traders feel an emotion and instantly act on it. They jump into trades because of excitement, exit because of fear, increase size because of greed. But the 1% pause. They observe the emotion before acting. They allow awareness to interrupt instinct. This ability prevents them from making catastrophic decisions in moments of emotional heat. Another core mindset is unconditional discipline. Most traders are disciplined only when it's easy. They follow rules when the market is calm but abandon them during chaos. Elite traders follow rules even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. They understand that discipline is not optional, it's survival. They don't choose discipline because it feels good. They choose it because it protects them from themselves. The 1% also have a mindset of emotional independence. They don't seek validation from others. They don't need confirmation from social media, mentors, YouTube, or friends. They don't care if people think they're right or wrong. They operate in solitude, trusting their system and their process. The 99% constantly look for reassurance, which weakens confidence and strengthens doubt. The 1% stand alone because they understand that trading is a solitary performance game. Another mindset that transforms traders into legends is understanding the energy cost of emotions. Anger, fear, FOMO, revenge trading, impatience, they all drain mental bandwidth. The best traders protect their energy like it's capital. They don't waste emotional energy on things outside their control. They keep their psychological reserves full so they can make high-quality decisions consistently. The 99% burn energy through emotional chaos, leaving them mentally exhausted and vulnerable to mistakes. Another rare mindset is understanding randomness. Elite traders accept that not every outcome reflects the quality of the decision. Good trades can lose. Bad trades can win. The 99% judge themselves based on outcomes. The 1% judge themselves based on execution. This distinction separates professionals from amateurs. You can't control outcomes. You can only control process. When you master this mindset, emotional noise disappears. And finally, the mindset that truly defines the 1% is psychological resilience. They get knocked down, but they never break. They fight through losing periods without dramatizing them. They refine instead of panic. They learn instead of quit. They adjust instead of collapse. Their resilience is built from experience, discipline, and self-awareness. They treat losses as tuition, not trauma. They treat mistakes as lessons, not failures. They treat the journey as evolution, not struggle. That resilience becomes their superpower. The force that pushes them into the top 1% while everyone else quits halfway. These mindsets, acceptance, patience, resilience, self-awareness, emotional discipline, long-term thinking, responsibility, probability-based decision-making, detachment from money, discomfort tolerance, and consistent execution, create a psychological foundation strong enough to handle the reality of trading. The 99% don't fail because they lack skill. They fail because they lack the mental infrastructure required to survive the emotional storms of the market. The 1% don't win because they're gifted. They win because they become the kind of person who can win. Trading isn't about charts. It's about character. It's about building a mind strong enough to face uncertainty, detach from outcomes, and stay disciplined when everything inside you wants to break the rules. That's why only 1% become legends. They master the one thing the 99% ignore: themselves.